Hi guys, welcome to CraftCrunch's first episode. I'm Doha, and today I'll be teaching you the basics of crocheting. What you will be needing is a crochet hook. Today I'll be using a size G, but since today we're just making a small sample piece, it doesn't matter. And you'll also need some yarn of any color of your choice. I'm using blue. And some scissors, which you won't be needing till the very end. So, before we actually get started, I want to show you some techniques that can really help you in crocheting. First of all, I want to show you how you should hold your hook. Some people like to hold it like a pen, like they're writing. Some like to hold it like a spoon. Some people might even like to hold it like chopsticks, which I have no idea why. Maybe they're from China or something, I don't know. I like to hold mine like a knife, like you're cutting. So, now I want to show you how you should tension your yarn when you're crocheting. I find that doing this can really help you. So what I like to do is I like to weave it through my fingers. So, when over here, on the side of your hand, you can see that the yarn is under my pinky, over my ring finger, under my middle finger, and over my pointer finger. And I like to wrap it twice around my pointer finger. So now I'm going to teach you how to make a slip knot. I'm going to show you two ways, and you can do whatever seems easiest for you. First, I'm going to show you the one I don't really recommend. So what you do is take your finger and wrap the yarn around it twice. So there's two loops on it. You're going to take the first one, lay it over the second one. Now take the second one, just take it over and off. That's one way to make a slip knot. Also, what you can do is you can make a loop. I always like to have it with the working yarn on the top. And the working yarn is the yarn that's attached to your ball and not the tail that you're going to be weaving, so you can weave it in at the end. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our two fingers from the top, we're going to take that working yarn and we're going to pull it through. And this is the easier way, the way I always like to do it. I recommend this for beginners. So now let's tension our yarn like I showed you. You can also tension it in other ways, but I just like holding it this way. You can experiment and see what's best for you. So now that I've tensioned my yarn, now since we have the slip knot on her hook, we want to make sure that we cinch it onto this. We want to make sure that we don't cinch it so tightly that there's no room. I like to have a small gap right there. So now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to hold with my middle finger and my thumb the slip knot. And you can see that space right there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our hook, we're going to take it in behind the yarn. And that is called a yarn over. And now what we're going to do is we're going to pull it through that loop. And that is your first chain. Now once again what we're going to do is a yarn over, pull through. That's more yarn. Yarn over, pull through. Today, it doesn't really matter the number of chains you make, because we're just going to be making a small sample piece, the first thing you've ever crocheted. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead, make a couple more chains. And I like to make mine a bit loose so it's easy to insert your hook into them. So, I think this is enough. Since we're doing the single crochet, I'm going to chain one extra chain, because in crocheting, when you get started, like we're doing a single crochet, so for the single crochet you have to skip the first chain, so you have to chain one extra. So now what you do is skip the first chain and insert your hook into the second chain. Now what we're going to do is we're going to yarn over and pull through just that first loop. Now we still have two loops on our hook. Now once again we're going to yarn over, and this time we're going to pull it through both those loops. That's your first crochet stitch. Now once again we're going to, and you can see that this is also looks like a chain, but that really isn't a chain. It's the chain we just inserted into, and I find it easy for beginners to just go into that. It's really tempting, but don't do it. So we're going to insert into that next chain, yarn over, pull through the first one, yarn over, pull through both. Okay, so once again, we're going to insert, yarn over, pull through the first one, yarn over, pull through both. And also, I want to show you that when you yarn over and then insert, hang on. No, sorry, you don't yarn over. I know where I just got that from. Got it from double crochet. So when you insert and then when you yarn over, it's gonna be like your hook will probably be facing you. And then I find it that it just comes naturally that as you go down and start pulling it through, the hook will just turn. Just watch that. You see that? It just kind of comes naturally. I didn't really even realize that. So now once again we're going to insert, yarn over, pull through the first one, yarn over, pull through both. Now a couple more chains left. Yarn over, pull through one, yarn over, pull through both. Okay, I don't know what that just was. Yarn over, pull through both. Okay, looks like we got one more chain. Wait, no, that's the last chain. Yeah, that's the last chain. So now I'm just going to show you a couple more stitches, and then I'll meet back up with you, and we'll do a couple more rows. I'm going to do a couple more rows, and I'll meet back up with you. So next what we'll be doing is we're going to be chaining one. So now that we've chained one, we don't have to skip one of these, because then that would just make it look all weird and lumpy. It's like gonna make a hole in your crocheting. So now what we're gonna do is, you can see over here that they're like V's, and we're gonna insert that in. We're gonna insert our hook into those V's. So there's our chain, the chain we just chained. We're gonna insert it into the V, and it looks like you just did 2 loops onto it. And pretend those 2 loops are 1 loop. So we're gonna yarn over, pull through the first one, yarn over, pull through 2. So now all you want to do is you want to go ahead and keep on doing that across the row, and just do what I just showed you. I'll do a couple more rows, and then I'll meet back up with you, and I'll show you the next step. Okay guys, I've crocheted a couple more rows, and don't be surprised if yours isn't exactly the same size as mine, because you might have done one more less than me. And now I'm going to show you how to finish this off. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our scissors, and we're just going to cut the working yarn. Make sure you're not cutting the tail. Cut the working yarn and make sure you leave a tail. So now we won't be needing that yarn ball anymore. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this hook. Now we're just going to take our hook out of the loop. Now we're just going to pull that piece of string all the way through. Now pull on it. So this is pretty much what your finished piece will look like, pretty much. Still a couple more steps to do. Now what we're going to do is we're going to be weaving in the ends. So we're going to just insert our hook in a random spot. Make sure it's really close to the tail we just made. And we're just going to pull it through. It's pretty much like sewing. You can also use a darning needle, which is just a needle that is used for yarn. And you can use that to weave in your ends. But I'm just going to be using my crochet hook today, in case a lot of you don't have one. Okay, so let's just weave it in one more time on this end. Now, when you think you've woven it in enough times, you can just snip it. Now you're going to do the same thing on this side. This is the tail we made when we first began. Just don't mind me here. Okay, let's just weave this in a couple more times, and then I think we're gonna be ready to be done. Okay. Okay, one more time. I'll just weave this in 2 more times, and then I will get on with this tutorial, which I think will finish in like 2 minutes. Okay, one more time. There you go. So now we're just going to snip off this thing. And here's your finished piece. This is really small. If you want, you could chain a lot more, crochet a lot more rows. But this is a very small sample piece. And I just want to tell you guys that don't feel too bad if yours doesn't look as good as mine, because the first thing I ever crocheted looked like this. This is the first thing I ever crocheted. Looks terrible, doesn't it? So that's what my first thing ever looked like. So don't get discouraged if yours doesn't look like mine yet. You can definitely see a difference in this, can't you? So thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry if the quality of this video was bad, because this is my first video. Comment down below requests for videos. Like, subscribe, share this video, and hope you have a great day.